Good evening. Tonight we read from Book of Revelations, chapter 18, and from Proverbs, chapter 7. Yes. Please start off with Revelations 18.
Well, in verse 4, it tells us to separate ourselves. And you would see this scripture in 2 Corinthians 6:17, where it talks about light cannot dwell with darkness, and pretty much sin cannot dwell with purity. Well, it reminds us to come out of her. Evil is personified as a woman, and you're going to see in Proverbs 7 that the temptress or temptation again is a metaphor for the evil woman. But it says, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers." You do not participate in any of that, of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So it's important that we make a distinction. We can't participate in everything. We have liberty, and remember, Paul says everything is lawful but not expedient. It's not good for you. So we have to be discerning and discriminating out here. Yeah, we're grown, but we still have to protect our heart, soul, mind, and body. And again, in 2 Corinthians 6:17, even starting with 14, be not unequally yoked for together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and the communion of light and darkness? And what concord have Christ with Belial? Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement have the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. We're the vessel. So with that, we can't let everything into our eye gate, our ear gate, our surrounding. We have to protect it with all our heart. What do you have to say about that, Timotheus?
I say the same thing. Like this past quarantine, I was spending a lot of time watching shows, and I was seeing how they affected me. Like I would, I mean, these were like award winning shows and stuff like that, nominated for every award you think of, whatever. And I would just see like, no matter how good these shows are written, like the violence that are in them, I don't think it was never originated. It was never meant for humans to like see that much like bloodshed and violence and stuff like that, and just be able to sit there, get up, eat lunch or whatever, and carry on with your day. Like I feel like seeing that kind of numbs you down in your sympathy, and also it kind of makes you forget how fragile life is. Like you think you might spend so much. I spent a lot of time watching those TV shows, and I would see death so much. I would see people getting killed so much on these shows or whatever. And I would just kind of like look at death as anything else, but I didn't really have the like admire life as much from seeing these shows. So I realized I had to slow down watching them. And I just went back to, if I was gonna watch something, it would just be like kind of lighthearted, or it just make me laugh. And I was like, I miss like being able to see this stuff. And yeah, that was a good reminder of watching what I put inside me and what I let come to my eyes.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And again, it says, "Come out from among them, be separate, saith the Lord, and touch not, watch not, listen not to the unclean thing, and I will receive you." So that's good counsel. And then in Proverbs, let's see, today was the 7th, correct? And again, we would have gone to the chapters where it talks about how the strange woman flattereth with words, and the gullible youth. It could be anyone. It could be an old person. If they are not woke, they do not discern what's going on, and they're void of understanding. And then it says at the end, they knoweth not that they go to the slaughter. It says in verse 22, "He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stocks." So it's like you don't understand what's going on, and it's ultimately for your destruction. It's good that God showed mercy for you so that you were able to recognize that these shows were not helping you, if anything, harming you and making you desensitized toward evil. And that's what the enemy wants us to do, to slowly get lulled asleep, and then we're not able to decipher, because the enemy walks around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Anything about Proverbs 7?
Nah, but just one more thing that I had to say. Like, I know 100% that if shows did not, like, show people getting killed, or if they weren't, if TV wasn't a thing to begin with, that the amount of murders that there were and the amount of, like, violence that there was in the world, I promise you that there would be much lower. And I guess it's a trade-off, with people's entertainment and, like, with people being quick to commit violence. But I just know that without that, it would be much lower.
Why do you say that?
Because first of all, like, no matter what you say, it gives you ideas. Like, people get ideas from this type of stuff, and you know. Come on.
Did you see the recording that they released?
I didn't want to really talk about it, but yeah, I saw it.
You couldn't help it, and I was surprised that they would show that, and it was the saddest thing. And this is very important because this was right around the corner from my parents' house, and I'm looking across the street, and I would have seen where they lived, and to see that the shooting of that retired fire lieutenant and the 4 guys running, I thought I was watching a movie. I was like, what is this mess? And like you said, I believe that they did get the ideas from media. People of God, we have to be separate, be woke, and stay vigilant and sober, and be discerning about what we put into our eyes and ears. Thank you, son.
Good night.